I suppose, like every other Irish fan, I was a little bit surprised of how strong the Irish team actually was. Um, I thought that he would have given a number of the guys an opportunity, and like it's been talked about in previous World Cups that it is important that everybody feels a part of it. And everybody feels like they're on the journey to win a Rugby World Cup, and for you to feel a part of it, you have to play. And where are the opportunities going to come now for specifically Stuart McCluskey and Jimmy O'Brien? I think obviously Jack Honan gets himself fit and Dan Sheehan gets himself fit, then of course they're going to play. But where do the other two lads fit in? So that's I suppose that Andy Farrell will have a plan up his sleeve that there'll be a certain amount of these guys will play in a Rugby World Cup. But if it doesn't go to plan, then there might be a couple that's left out, which is very unfortunate. And I've been in that position in 2007, and I've also been in the position of 2011 where, I really enjoyed myself, felt part of it, and every single player in that group. Now, it's different because the lads aren't playing Russia or Uruguay or Portugal. It's a pretty stacked Tongan side. I think the front row weighs 350 kilos or
Yeah.
something, something like that, 345 kg. So like this is a big old unit. I think it's due to be wet weather as well. So expect expect it to be a bit of a slog at times, and let's wait and see what the Tongans throw at us. But from an Irish point of view, with the players that we have in our ranks, surely the goodness would be able to get a victory against Tonga. I probably disagree with you. I didn't think it was a particularly good game to watch. Like there was 20 odd scrums, 20 lineouts, lots of penalties, so stop start, lots of mistakes. The ball didn't go through like 8 phases maybe from both sides. But I think the reason why it did make it a good game is because France, one of the favourites against Uruguay, who they're supposed to blow away, and it was actually tight. Like I think it was 8 points in it for a period of time. So yeah, it's a game where I feel, Donny, that you look at the French team and they made a raft of changes. They made a lot of changes, and straight away in the first 10 minutes, it felt like they drifted away from their game plan. Their confidence didn't look as good. They weren't as sharp on the ball. Different combinations of players. So when I watched that game last night, I sort of went, do you know what? There's a reason why Andy Farrell has picked a lot more consistent team is because he doesn't want that slip up. He doesn't want that inconsistency to creep in to his game because he can't afford to, especially in 7 days' time when they play South Africa. So, I think there's been a lot of thought put into the team selection for Andy Farrell. And, that game last night maybe reiterated that it's really important to keep your core group of players who are playing well and in good form. Keep them moving forward, and hopefully they can get through to after week three, and or sorry, after the third game, and get that bye week and then regroup. Watching that last night straight away, you went, oh geez, that looked like a bit of a cheap shot. And then when the scrum half just bounced back up on his feet, they kind of shook hands and like embraced, and then he got the yellow card went off the pitch. There was no simulation from the Uruguayan scrum half either. He sort of just got on with it. And again, with Matsushima and the Chile player, he sort of, even though he had a bit of a mark on him, but he sort of just played on where, the Tom Curry incident, they were both laid out, both pissing with blood.
Yeah.
Next thing, it paints a really bad picture for the referee, and there's a red card shown. I think last night, actually, Sonny Bill put a tweet out. You maybe seen it. Oh, geez, I wish I had this referee in 2017 when he absolutely stepped in with the shoulder. I think it was maybe Liam Williams or Anthony Watson or something. He tried to take their head off, and he obviously got a red card and had a huge impact on that Lion series. So it's difficult. It really is a difficult one. I don't think there was any intention. Was it Tuafuma or Talafuma? I can't remember the game. I don't think there was any real intent in it. But as we keep going over old ground over the last 3 weeks, make head contact at your peril, because as soon as you make head contact, you're leaving yourself open, and yeah, if it's an accident, it doesn't really matter because there's head contact that's been made. So yeah, the Tom Curry, the Matsushima, and Jesse Creel, I think some of them are slightly different. I do think some of them are slightly different because of the way that they enter into the tackle. The duty of care has to be given to the guy who's catching the ball. Tom Curry is making that impact going forward, where Matsushima was going forward and it was the tackler actually absorbing the impact. So I can see a small difference there, and why it wasn't upgraded to a red card. But look, Donny, we got to be really careful here because, like, we do not want at the end of this Rugby World Cup to be talking about high tackles, red cards, yellow cards. Like, we're into week 2 here, and it's all anybody's talking about. And we should be talking about the rugby that Fiji played against Wales to nearly win it in the last minute, and this Irish team who's continuing to move forward in a positive direction. And the biggest game of the weekend, Australia versus Fiji, and there's a couple of injuries there, and it might leave the door slightly open for Fiji to take advantage of it. So that's what we want to be talking about on the style and brand of rugby and the atmospheres and the crowd attendances that are going to France, not these high tackles. But it's the players themselves that have to learn, and they're going to have to learn very quickly. Yeah, like it's a massive game. I just read Will Skelton is also out with a calf injury. Thor, the prop, he's out as well. Looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks. So that's a big dent, especially when it looked like that was an area of their game against Georgia that was very strong. Their set piece, especially their scrum, was very dominant. So Fiji, if they do have any vulnerability, it is around their set piece. We know that they can score tries from anywhere and pull a rabbit out of a hat and make something happen. So that's a huge positive for Fiji. And as everybody's talked about over the last couple of weeks, everybody's adopting Fiji as their second team, just because of the style of rugby. The heartache at the end of the Welsh game when everybody thought they were robbed because of the amount of penalties that Wales were conceding and not enough yellow cards were shown. So by Matt Carley, but I'm not ruling these boys out. I'm really not. They got 2 points out of the first game, and it wouldn't surprise me if they went on and got a victory against Australia, because they're a fit side, skillful side, powerful side, and a side that's got a bit of confidence as well.